The digital mirror trap. Why survivors are so vulnerable online. A warning from the MPID system. For those recovering from narcissistic abuse, the internet often feels like a lifeline, a place to finally hear someone say, "You are not crazy." To find language for what you lived through, to find resonance, to feel seen. But there's a hidden danger here, and it's not just scammers or predators. It is the structure of your own psyche, still shaped by trauma, still searching for a mirror. In MPIT, we call this state RMPI, reflexive, mirrored, psychic inversion. And in the digital space, it makes you highly vulnerable, not just to narcissists, but to anyone who speaks fluently in empathy, validation, or trauma language while still holding covert power. What is reflexive mirroring? If you grew up needing to anticipate the moods of an unstable caregiver or were later shaped by a narcissist's ever changing fantasy, your nervous system learned one thing above all: match the other person, reflect them. Don't be too much, don't be too little, just enough to stay safe. This becomes unconscious, and when you meet someone online, especially someone who sounds like they get it, your old survival strategies quietly take over. You begin using their language, you match their tone, you respond quickly so they don't feel abandoned. You soften your views if theirs feels more certain. You bond quickly because it feels like recognition. But this is not intimacy, this is inversion. A survival structure still trying to stabilize itself through someone else's mirror. The content creator trap. This gets worse when the person on the other end has authority, reach, or status. Even if they're not overtly narcissistic, many creators, especially in the healing and trauma space, are operating from their own unacknowledged anticipatory stress reflexes. They may still be in their own collapse loop, and many of them still are. They speak of recovery, but haven't faced their own symbolic inversion. They help others, but still use followers as silent witnesses to their own pain. They offer insight, but demand unseen loyalty and emotional compliance. In MPIT terms, these are collapsed redeemer positions, personas built to escape their own pain by appearing to heal others. And if you are still inverted, you will feel drawn to them. Their confidence will feel like safety. Their warmth will feel like home. But this is a hall of mirrors again. And once you stop reflecting what they want, the gaze will break. The collapse comes quietly. When this happens, survivors often feel confused. They weren't in a relationship. Not really. No intimacy was ever made explicit. But the psychic entanglement was real. Suddenly, you are no longer being acknowledged. You are unsure of what you did wrong. You feel erased, devalued, or blamed, subtly but undeniably. This is symbolic derecognition, and it mimics the original trauma. You mirrored them, and now you are punished for the very mirror you were unconsciously trained to become. This is not codependency, it is collapse architecture. What gets labelled as egoism, codependency, self love deficit disorder is actually a systemic collapse of self structure caused by long term relational trauma. The MPIP model shows that survivors of narcissistic abuse do not have attachment wounds. They have undergone psychic restructuring through annihilatory stress response in early life, anticipatory stress reflex in adulthood, and reflexive mirrored psychic inversion throughout the shared fantasy. These are not personality flaws. They are aftershocks of being pulled into someone else's reality at the cost of your own. And online, those patterns are even easier to replay. In silence, in DM threads, in casual devaluation of your boundaries and brilliance. So what do we do? MPIT doesn't say stay away from everybody. It says, know what's yours and know what isn't. You must learn the signs of psychic inversion, mirroring, people pleasing, compliance. Recognize the seduction of resonant authority, those who sound like they get it but still perform control. Watch for sudden shifts in tone, withdrawal of warmth, or subtle punishments for disagreement. Build a symbolic boundary system that regulates your internal state before your relational state. And most of all, don't confuse being mirrored with being met. The internet is a mirror maze, but not all reflections are real. You're not looking for someone who sees you. You are looking for someone who stays when you see yourself. And if that person is you, then you've already begun. Peace out. Loads of love.